God says, "My child, your soulmate linked to your ex has finally spoken the truth, and heaven heard every word." For a long time, you felt there was something you didn't understand, something hidden, something unspoken that kept your heart heavy even after you tried to move on. You could feel it in your spirit even when others told you to forget. You could sense that your pain wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. And now, the truth that once hid in silence has been released. My child, the one you once loved, the one your soul still feels connected to, has seen the truth that was once covered by shadows. The confusion that surrounded your past was not your imagination. The betrayal, the sudden change, the distance that made no sense, I saw it all. I saw the manipulation. I saw the lies that were spoken about you. I saw the way jealousy and pride built walls between two souls that I had once meant to meet in light. But I tell you now, those walls are crumbling. The truth has been spoken, and heaven has heard the sound of repentance. Your soulmate, the one who once believed false words, has been awakened. They have cried before me, confessing that they were blinded by deception. They saw only fragments of the truth, not the whole story. And now, they are seeing you in the light of who you truly are, the one who loved without demanding, who forgave without being asked, who prayed for their peace even while your heart was breaking. Do you know why this moment matters, my child? Because truth sets souls free. For so long, you carried the weight of their misunderstanding, the ache of being misjudged, the silent wound of knowing that someone you loved was influenced against you. But I was not silent. I was watching, working, preparing the day when the truth would rise, not to shame anyone, but to heal what was broken. You have walked through seasons of silence, wondering if I had forgotten your cries. But I never forgot. Every tear you shed became a witness in the courts of heaven. Every prayer you whispered in the dark became a petition before me. And today, that petition has been answered. Your soulmate has spoken the truth. They have told me about their regret, their confusion, their realization that they allowed darkness to whisper lies into their heart. They have admitted the pain they caused, and they are seeking forgiveness, not only from you but from their own spirit. This is not a coincidence, my child. This is divine timing. When I decide that truth must come forth, nothing can stop it. The connection between your soulmate and your ex was not born out of divine purpose, but out of karmic lessons. It existed only to awaken awareness, to teach both souls the difference between illusion and authenticity. But it could never destroy what was pure, because what I bless cannot be undone by human actions. That connection has now served its purpose. The cycle is closing. The truth has set them free. And it is also setting you free. You no longer have to question whether you were loved. You were. You always were. But they could not love you the way you deserved until they faced their shadow. That is why I separated you for a season. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were too precious to be handled by unhealed hands. And now, those hands are trembling with truth. Those eyes are open. They see clearly now, how your silence wasn't coldness, it was strength. How your distance wasn't rejection, it was protection. How your heart was never against them, it was praying for them all along. They have spoken to me with tears, saying, God, I see now what I couldn't before. I see how I was misled. I see how I hurt the one who truly cared. And I, your father, heard those words with compassion. Because you see, my child, I am not a God of revenge. I am a God of revelation. I do not expose truth to destroy, I expose it to redeem. This truth had to be spoken so that healing could finally begin. You were never forgotten. You were never replaced. You were hidden, under my protection, while I let the storm rage until it burned away every falsehood. The one who was once confused is now being restored. They are facing their mistakes, their ego, their guilt. But I am not letting them drown in it. I am guiding them back toward light, toward honesty, toward humility, toward understanding what divine love truly means. You will begin to feel the shift in your spirit. Suddenly, your heart will feel lighter without explanation. Suddenly, you will wake up and not feel the same pain you used to. That is because the spiritual cord of confusion between you has been cleansed. You are being released from emotional bondage that was never yours to carry. And as I free you, I am freeing them too. Both of your souls are being renewed, not for old patterns to repeat, but for truth to lead the way this time. My child, I know how hard it was for you to keep faith when everything seemed unfair. But your endurance has not gone unnoticed. Every time you chose peace over anger, you planted a seed of grace. Every time you forgave silently, you wrote your name in heaven's book of mercy. And now, those seeds are bearing fruit. The truth that has been spoken will not hurt you, it will heal you. It will remove the last veil of confusion. It will bring closure where there was pain, and peace where there was chaos. You will not have to chase answers anymore. The truth will come to you naturally. You will see it unfold in signs, in dreams, in the peace that suddenly fills your heart. You will begin to understand why things happened the way they did. You will realize that nothing was wasted, not a single tear, not a single prayer. The one who was linked to your ex is no longer under that influence. The chains of manipulation are breaking. Their eyes are opening to the reality of what was done and what was lost. They are awakening to their own divine purpose. And in that awakening, they will seek redemption, not from guilt, but from love. Do not be surprised when you feel their energy reaching for you in silence. When you feel warmth where pain once lived, that is the sign of forgiveness taking root. That is heaven's energy cleansing your connection. You are stepping into a new chapter, my child. One where truth replaces confusion, where peace replaces worry, and where love, pure, divine love, begins to flow again. The storm you went through was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to separate illusion from reality. It was meant to make both souls ready for something holy. So, lift your head, my child. Do not dwell on the pain of yesterday. The truth has spoken, the heavens have heard, and your future has been rewritten in light. The lies that once tried to destroy you have now become the soil for your blessing. The tears you cried have become the river through which I am washing away all the pain. Be still. Rest your heart. Because from this moment forward, you will begin to see my justice, my clarity, and my healing working in ways you never imagined. The truth has set your soul free, and that freedom will soon lead you to peace, restoration, and divine reunion. My child, the truth that your soul has long felt but could not name has begun to unfold, and I want you to know that I have been behind every shift, every silence, every whisper that led to this moment. Nothing has been random. Every hidden thing was scheduled to be revealed in divine timing, not when you demanded answers, but when your heart was strong enough to receive them. For a long time, your soulmate lived in confusion. They were surrounded by voices that clouded their spirit, words from people who pretended to care, but who were secretly moved by jealousy, control, or insecurity. These voices spoke poison into their heart, twisting truth into lies. They were told things about you that were not real. They were made to believe that your love was selfish, that your silence was pride, that your distance was coldness. And in their weakness, they believed it. I watched as you cried, wondering how someone who knew your heart could misunderstand you so deeply. But, my child, I allowed it, not because I wanted you to suffer, but because I wanted what was false to be fully revealed. Hidden darkness must come to the surface before true light can shine. And now, that time has come. Your soulmate's heart has been restless. What once felt peaceful now feels empty. What once seemed right now feels wrong. The words they once believed about you no longer sound true in their spirit. I have been stirring their conscience, awakening their heart to question what they were told. They began to notice the contradictions. They began to see how the one who once spoke against you carried envy, not truth. Slowly, I pulled back the veil, piece by piece, memory by memory, moment by moment. Until finally, their soul could no longer deny it, they were deceived. And when that realization struck them, they broke down in tears. They wept for the pain they caused you. They wept for the love they doubted. They wept for the peace they lost when they turned away from the one I sent to bless them. Those tears, my child, were not just of regret. They were sacred tears of awakening, the kind that open the soul's eyes to truth. In that moment, they came before me in silence. No words, just a trembling spirit saying, God, I see now. I see what I did. I see how wrong I was. I see how pure their love was, and how I allowed others to cloud my judgment. And I, your father, did not turn them away. I met them in that moment of surrender. I showed them the truth, vividly, unmistakably. I replayed the memories of your kindness, your patience, your prayers. I let them feel your energy, the warmth, the forgiveness, the sincerity that still flows toward them through your prayers. They saw, and they broke. They saw, and they confessed. They saw, and they understood that they had believed lies not because they were evil, but because they were unhealed. And in that revelation, a great cleansing began. The link that tied them to your ex, that karmic attachment built on illusion, began to dissolve. The connection that once looked powerful began to fall apart. What once seemed unbreakable is now losing its hold. Because truth, my child, is stronger than any manipulation. When my light enters, darkness cannot stand. Your ex, too, is facing their reflection now. They cannot escape what I have revealed. Their actions are being exposed, not in public humiliation, but in divine accountability. I am showing them the weight of what they did, the words they spoke, the energy they sent, the harm they caused, not to destroy them, but to awaken them too. For I am not a God who punishes blindly, I am a God who redeems fully. But understand this, I protect my children who walk in light. No weapon formed against love that is pure can last forever. Every manipulation must crumble. Every lie must be undone. That is what you are witnessing now, even if you cannot yet see it with your physical eyes. Energies are shifting. Hearts are confessing. The truth is walking forward like sunrise after a long, cold night. Your soulmate now sees what they could not see before, that what they thought was love was control, and what they thought was stability was bondage. They feel the emptiness of that connection. They realize it was built on illusion, not destiny. I have been whispering into their dreams. I have been sending signs, numbers, songs, memories, that point them back toward truth, toward healing, toward you. And as their heart awakens, they feel me pulling them toward peace, the kind of peace they only ever felt when they were connected to you. But listen, my child, this is not about returning to the past. This is about redemption. The renewal of two souls who have faced darkness and found light again. You have grown so much. You have learned to stand strong in your solitude, to trust my plan even when it hurt. And because of that strength, I can now restore what was once broken, not as it was, but as it was meant to be. Your soulmate's confession before heaven has opened a new chapter. They have spoken truth not only with their mouth but with their spirit. They have admitted how their ego blinded them, how they ignored my whispers, and how they pushed away the one who was praying for them all along. Their honesty has triggered a divine chain reaction. The spiritual fog between you is clearing. The ties of confusion are being severed. You may feel waves of emotion lately, sudden tears, moments of peace followed by deep stillness. That is not chaos, my child. That is your soul adjusting to the shift of truth. When truth returns to a connection that was once distorted, both hearts begin to heal. Both souls feel lighter, clearer, freer. And that is exactly what is happening now. You might start feeling dreams of them, not painful, but peaceful. You might sense their presence, not to disturb you, but to apologize silently. These are not coincidences. This is the energy of reconciliation moving through your life. But know this, I am still guiding this process. Do not rush. Do not reach out from emotion. Let me lead the path. Because when I orchestrate reconciliation, it comes with peace, not confusion. The truth is unfolding perfectly. You do not need to chase clarity anymore. The same hand that revealed the lies will now bring divine closure and direction. You will not need to seek justice, for I myself will be your justice. In the coming days, watch how peace begins to replace the heaviness in your spirit. Watch how signs begin to appear that confirm what I am saying to you now. Some truths will reach your ears directly, others will be revealed through intuition, through stillness, through my whispers. But you will know. You will feel it. The confusion is ending. The masks are falling. And your heart, the one that stayed pure through it all, is being prepared for restoration. My child, you must understand that the truth being revealed now is not to reopen wounds but to seal them permanently. What is being exposed is meant to heal, not to hurt. It is my way of saying, you were right to trust your spirit. You were right to love without malice. You were right to wait on me. Your soulmate's eyes have opened, and that is a miracle in itself. Do not worry about how or when things will unfold. Just keep your heart aligned with me. Keep your peace, because peace is the sign that you are walking in divine order. Soon, you will stand at a place of complete understanding. You will look back and see how every betrayal was a stepping stone toward truth, how every loss prepared you for pure love, and how I used what was meant to harm you to set you apart for something greater. The truth has begun to unfold, my child. And once truth begins to move, it never stops until everything hidden is brought to light. So rest. Breathe. You are not losing anything, you are being liberated. What was once twisted is being straightened. What was once dark is being flooded with light. And what was once a painful mystery is becoming a beautiful revelation. The truth will no longer hurt you, it will honor you. Because now, heaven has spoken, and what was once broken is being made whole again. My child, heaven has seen what your heart could not. The one whose name still echoes softly in the corners of your soul, the one you once prayed for even in your pain, has finally come to see the truth. For so long, their vision was clouded, their heart tied to voices that were never meant to guide them. But now, the veil has been lifted. What was hidden has been shown. The confusion that once lived in them has turned into a quiet realization that shakes their spirit from within. They now see how pure your love truly was, how patient, how kind, how forgiving you remained even when they wounded you unknowingly. They remember the way you loved them without demands, without conditions, while others whispered against you. And in that remembering, my child, they have been broken. Not in punishment, but in awakening. For a heart that once ran away from truth must eventually face the echo of its own choices. I allowed them to walk a path you could not follow, because the journey was never meant to humiliate you, it was meant to humble them. They needed to see what love was not, before they could recognize what love truly is. They needed to be surrounded by noise before they could remember the peace they felt when your name was near. Every tear they cry now is a prayer they never spoke aloud. Every sleepless night is a silent confession that their soul cannot hide from heaven. Do you remember, my child, how you prayed for them even when they turned away? How you whispered, God, please open their eyes, not to see my pain, but to see their own truth. Heaven remembers every one of those prayers. Not a single word was lost in the wind. Each tear you shed was carried to my throne and laid before me as a seed of compassion. And now, those seeds are blooming in their heart. The very prayers you once made for their healing are now unfolding within them, awakening them to their mistakes and showing them the difference between false love and divine connection. They have spoken the truth, not only before others, but before me. In the stillness of night, when no one was there to witness, they cried out, I was wrong. Their heart trembled, their pride broke, and their spirit whispered your name again, not in longing alone, but in repentance. They understand now how the lies, the jealousy, and the pressure from others separated what I had joined in spirit. They see how fear disguised itself as logic and how pride built walls where love was meant to dwell. And though they cannot undo the past, they have begun the sacred act of facing it. They remember your silence, not as rejection, but as grace. When you stopped chasing, they thought you no longer cared, but now they understand. You were never giving up, you were surrendering to me. You were allowing me to take over where your strength had ended. That surrender became your strength, and it became their mirror. They now see how your peace came from faith, not from forgetting. And that realization is awakening something new in them, a longing not just for you, but for the light that guided you. My child, I want you to know this. While you thought you were forgotten, your love was working in ways unseen. Love like yours never dies, it transforms. It becomes a silent teacher, a reflection of divine mercy. And so, your love became their lesson. I used your purity to remind them what holiness feels like. I used your distance to show them the weight of what they lost. I used your prayers to draw them back toward their purpose. But do not think this realization came easily to them. They have faced their own nights of tears, their own silence where I would not let them rest until they looked within. I placed them in situations where false love failed them, where deception could no longer comfort them. I made them walk through the same loneliness they once caused you, not as revenge, but as redemption. For only through understanding pain can the heart learn compassion. Only through brokenness can humility grow. And now, as they stand in front of the truth, they are trembling. They feel unworthy to speak your name. They fear you will never look at them the same way again. They are haunted by the kindness you showed when they least deserved it. And yet, in their fear, there is hope. Because they have begun to remember who they were when they were with you, not perfect, but peaceful. Not strong, but loved. And they long to return to that version of themselves again. My child, listen to me carefully. This is not the time for you to chase or explain. It is the time for you to stand still and allow my spirit to work. The truth has already begun its journey. It is unfolding through every conversation, every dream, every moment of reflection. You need not prove your worth, it is already proven in the way you loved when no one was watching. The truth itself is your vindication. I know part of you still hurts, wondering why it took them so long to see what was always clear to you. But remember, revelation does not come through human timing, it comes through divine mercy. Had they realized the truth earlier, their heart may not have been ready to honor it. I had to let them fall so that when they rose, they would never take your soul's light for granted again. They are changing, my child. Slowly, painfully, sincerely. They are learning to pray again, to speak to me not from pride but from need. They are asking me how to make things right. Some of their prayers include your name, though you may never hear them. They are asking for peace to return to your heart, even if they are not part of your future. That is how I know their change is real, when love transforms from desire into prayer. But know this too, you are not required to wait or hold on in suffering. Your purpose is not chained to their choices. The truth being revealed is meant to free you both, not bind you again. What they do with this awakening is their path, what you do with peace is yours. I am writing both your stories in a way that honors your healing. You may feel them in your dreams, you may sense their presence when you are still, that is their soul reaching for forgiveness. Do not fear it. Let it pass through you like wind through leaves. You are safe in my arms. I will not let the past steal your new beginning. My beloved, every tear that fell from your eyes was counted. Every silent cry reached me. And now, every truth once buried is rising like dawn after a long night. Do not focus on what was lost, focus on what is being revealed. Truth is my tool for freedom, not pain. So breathe deeply, my child. Rest your heart. The one who once turned away has finally looked inward. Their journey has brought them to honesty, and honesty will always lead back to me. Whether they return to your life or not, know this, the purpose of love was never just to stay, it was to awaken souls. You have done that. You have fulfilled a divine purpose simply by being love in human form. And I promise you this. The truth that was once your sorrow will soon become your strength. You will no longer cry for clarity, for I have given it to you. You will no longer carry confusion, for I have lifted it from you. You will walk in peace, knowing that even the one who hurt you was used to polish your light. Rest now, my child. The truth has spoken. The soul that once ran now kneels. And heaven smiles, for love, real love, has done its holy work. My child, heaven is proud of you. You have walked through fire and yet your spirit still carries light. You have been betrayed, abandoned, misunderstood, and still, you chose not to harden your heart. You cried, but you never stopped praying. You broke, but you never stopped believing. You were wounded deeply, and still you whispered, God, I trust you. Do you see how powerful that is, my child? Even angels marvel when a soul chooses faith in the midst of heartbreak. I have watched you pick up the pieces of your heart in silence. I saw you look at old memories and try to find peace where pain once lived. I saw the nights when you held your chest and whispered, why do I still feel them? And I saw the mornings when you forced yourself to smile, telling yourself you were fine even when you were not. You see, my beloved, I was never far. I was sitting beside you in every silence. When you thought no one was listening, I was. When you felt no one cared, I did. Your heart has been through storms not meant to destroy you, but to shape you into something divine. I allowed the pain because it was a fire that purified you. Every tear you shed washed away the illusions others tried to place on you. Every time someone misunderstood your love, I used that moment to teach you how to love yourself. Every time you were rejected, I whispered, you are mine. Now, my child, the time of suffering is closing. The energy that once tied you to pain is breaking off piece by piece. You may still feel traces of it now, sudden emotions, waves of memory, or even dreams that bring back faces from your past. Do not fear them. These are not signs of weakness, they are the last ripples of an old cycle dying away. When something divine ends, it often echoes for a little while before the silence becomes peace. Let it echo. Let it fade. You are safe. Do you know why I allowed you to love someone so deeply, even though they hurt you? Because love was the lesson, not the wound. You needed to see how vast your heart could be. You needed to see that you could give love without losing yourself. And though the world made you feel small, I saw a heart large enough to forgive what others could not even face. That forgiveness, my child, has written your name in heaven's book of peace. Forgiveness is not about pretending nothing happened, it's about releasing yourself from what happened. I do not ask you to forget. I ask you to free your heart from carrying the weight of resentment. When you hold on to anger, it keeps you bound to the very energy that hurt you. But when you let go, you rise higher than it. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is sacred strength. It says, I choose peace over pain. I choose light over darkness. I choose to let God handle what I cannot. So breathe, my beloved. It's over. You no longer have to replay their words in your mind. You no longer have to wonder why it happened. The why is not your burden anymore. I have already turned that pain into purpose. Every moment that felt wasted is now part of your divine story. Every broken piece has become the foundation of your strength. You did not lose, you evolved. The truth that came to light was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to heal you. You asked me for closure, and I gave you revelation. You prayed for understanding, and I gave you truth. But now that the truth has been revealed, your next prayer must be peace. Because peace is what allows you to walk into the next chapter without carrying the dust of the last one. I want you to picture this, my child, you standing in the middle of a quiet garden. The sun touches your face, and you feel warmth again. There is no anger, no confusion, only release. The flowers bloom where your tears once fell. You hear a soft wind whisper through the leaves, and that is my spirit saying, you are free now. The past cannot reach you anymore. What was meant to break you has become the soil where your new life will grow. And your soulmate, the one tied to your past, their awakening was part of your healing too. Their tears balanced your prayers. Their confession released your spirit from emotional chains you could not see. When they finally spoke truth, it closed a spiritual loop that had been open for too long. That is why, lately, you've been feeling lighter, even if you can't explain why. That's why you've been sleeping a little easier, breathing a little deeper. The spiritual cords that once drained you have been severed by my hand. You are stepping into restoration now. My child, I need you to know this, you were never not enough. You were divine even when they couldn't see it. Their blindness was not your flaw, it was their lesson. And your love was not wasted, it was sacred fuel that awakened truth in another soul. You gave love that mirrored heaven, and even if they could not hold it, heaven did. Nothing given in love is ever lost. I take every ounce of it and turn it into light that blesses you in return. There will come a moment soon, my child, when you will look back and thank me for not letting that old chapter continue. You will see why it had to end when it did. You will see that what you thought was rejection was actually redirection, a divine way of clearing your path for something far more beautiful. You will meet people who recognize your worth instantly, who speak your language of kindness, who see your light and do not fear it. This is my promise, I will not let you cry for the same reason twice. Your healing is not just emotional, it is spiritual. I am restoring your faith in love itself. The love that is coming to you next will not confuse your soul, it will calm it. It will not demand your tears, it will honor your peace. It will not make you chase, it will meet you where you stand. For what I am preparing for you, no one can sabotage. What I bless, no human can take away. I am also healing the memories, my child. You may still think of them, but soon it will no longer hurt. You will remember with gratitude, not grief. You will say, that experience taught me how to love better, first others, and now myself. I am placing peace like a soft blanket over your heart. The edges of your pain are softening, the weight is lifting, and the light is returning to your eyes. Heaven rejoices over your endurance. Angels have been singing over your life, declaring that your mourning season is closing. The doors that once stayed shut are now unlocking because you no longer hold bitterness in your hands. You have made space for new blessings. So, my child, rest tonight knowing this, I am proud of you. You could have become bitter, but you chose better. You could have sought revenge, but you chose redemption. You could have lost faith, but you chose to pray. That is what separates you. That is why your life will soon overflow with grace. The truth that broke you will soon become the testimony that builds you. The tears that once fell from pain will now fall from joy. Your heart will not always ache, it will sing again. And when it does, you will understand that healing was never about forgetting what happened, it was about remembering who you are, my beloved, my chosen, my resilient one. You are healed, my child. Not because the world says so, but because I have declared it. You are free, because I have broken every invisible chain that kept you bound to the past. You are loved, because I have never stopped holding you. Now, rise from your sorrow. Step into peace. The chapter of pain is finished. The page of purpose begins. My child, now that your heart has healed and the tears have begun to dry, listen closely, for heaven has something sacred to reveal. The pain that once bound you has turned into light, and the truth that once broke you is now opening the door to divine restoration. You have walked through the dark valley and reached the edge of dawn. This is where I begin to rewrite your story. Do not be surprised when peace begins to replace confusion. Do not question it when you suddenly feel free, when laughter returns without reason, when you wake up one morning and your heart feels lighter than it has in years. That, my beloved, is not coincidence, it is healing finally completing its work. I have been removing the residue of old pain, the last pieces of sorrow clinging to your soul. Every silent night you endured was not wasted. Every lonely prayer you whispered became a key that unlocked the next season of your destiny. You see, my child, there is a reason truth had to come before restoration. What was hidden could not heal you. What was unspoken could not free you. And now that the truth has been revealed, your soul is ready to receive the blessings I've been saving for you. The moment your soulmate confessed, heaven released peace. The moment they faced their truth, I began to align what had been scattered. This does not mean you must go backward. Sometimes divine reconnection is not about returning to an old path, it is about both souls meeting again on higher ground, transformed by grace. The bond between you was never merely physical, it was spiritual, written in light long before the world understood your connection. When I allow two souls to meet in truth, it is not to repeat pain, but to rewrite it. The one who once wept in confusion now prays for clarity. They are being guided by angels to walk the road of humility. You may not see it, but their spirit is learning gentleness. They are remembering what it means to love without fear, to honor what once they took for granted. The same love you carried within your heart is now awakening in theirs. Slowly, steadily, I am softening their pride, healing their guilt, and preparing their soul to walk in truth. But I also want you to understand something deeper, my child. This healing is not only for them, it is for you. I am reconnecting you, not just with another person, but with your divine essence. You are being reintroduced to the version of yourself that existed before heartbreak. The part of you that laughed easily, that trusted deeply, that dreamed freely, that part is returning now. The wounds that once defined you are becoming wisdom. The scars you once hid are turning into symbols of grace. There will come a moment when your paths may cross again, whether in this lifetime or another. If it is within my divine plan for reunion, it will not be forced or painful, it will feel natural, peaceful, like the gentle meeting of sunrise and sea. You will not need to question it or chase it. You will simply know. And if that time comes, it will not be as two broken souls seeking completion, but as two healed spirits walking together in wholeness. However, if your souls must part to fulfill higher purposes, trust that this too is sacred. Sometimes I use love not to bind souls together forever, but to awaken them for eternity. You have already fulfilled a divine purpose through this connection. You helped another soul find truth, and that truth set both of you free. That is love in its highest form, love that transforms, even if it does not stay. But do not fear, my beloved. For no matter what form your future takes, peace will be your portion. Whether reunion or release, both are blessings when they come through me. I will not let your story end in pain. I am the author of new beginnings, and I am writing something beautiful for you now, a chapter filled with laughter, light, and love that honors who you've become. In this new season, you will attract peace where you once attracted chaos. You will draw love that mirrors your healed heart. You will meet people who speak kindness instead of confusion, who stay instead of leaving, who see you clearly instead of projecting their wounds upon you. This is the promise I am sealing over your life. You will never again have to beg for what is already yours. My child, you are stepping into divine alignment. The same angels who carried your tears to my throne are now carrying blessings to your door. You will begin to notice signs, sudden moments of warmth in your chest, songs that speak the words your soul has waited to hear, dreams that feel like gentle reminders from heaven. These are confirmations that the energy around you has shifted. You are walking in light now, and darkness can no longer touch what has been blessed. I am sending abundance not only in love but in all areas of your life. As your heart heals, your path clears. As your spirit rises, doors open. Relationships, opportunities, and moments of joy will come to you with ease because you are now aligned with divine flow. You are no longer striving, you are receiving. You are no longer chasing, you are attracting. The vibration of your soul has changed, and heaven responds to that. Do not rush this process. Allow peace to settle. Allow stillness to fill the spaces once occupied by pain. You will see that healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means remembering without hurting. You will look back one day and realize that the person who once broke you was the reason you learned how to pray with depth. You will see how I used heartbreak as a holy classroom, how I turned pain into purpose. And when that moment comes, when you stand fully in your peace, you will smile, not out of pride, but out of gratitude. Gratitude that you survived. Gratitude that you loved deeply. Gratitude that you trusted me even when everything seemed to fall apart. And I will smile with you, my child, for that is the beauty of divine redemption, nothing is wasted, not even tears. As heaven seals this chapter, I want you to place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating? That rhythm is a promise that your story is not over. Every heartbeat declares, I am alive. I am healing. I am loved. This is your soul's song of renewal. You are not the same person who once cried in confusion, you are wiser, stronger, softer, and more divine. My beloved, hear this truth. You will never again be chained by what you have outgrown. You will never again be deceived by what looks like love but lacks spirit. I am placing a light of discernment within you. From now on, you will recognize real love when it comes. It will not make you anxious, it will make you calm. It will not make you doubt yourself, it will remind you of me. And as for your soulmate, bless them, release them, and let them find their own healing under my watch. If they are meant for you, no force in this universe can keep them away. If they are not, know that what is truly yours will never require you to suffer endlessly for it. Either way, you win, because love has already completed its work in you. Now lift your eyes, my child. The dawn is breaking. The garden of your soul is blooming again. The pain has done its purpose, the truth has been spoken, the healing is complete. The angels are rejoicing, singing your name with joy, for a heart that once wept has learned to worship again. This is my final promise to you, you will know peace that stays. You will know love that honors. You will know joy that doesn't fade. You will know yourself as I have always known you, whole, radiant, eternal. The storm is over. The chapter is closed. The truth has set you free. Now walk, my beloved, into the life I prepared for you, a life where pain becomes purpose, truth becomes light, and love becomes eternal peace. Go in grace, my child. Heaven walks beside you.